Okay, I'm just going to say it, okay? I don't care what you think. I don't care what your mama think about me. Candace Owens, Candace, whatever her middle name, Owens, hates herself. I had some doubt in myself. I was thinking maybe she's doing this for the grift, which obviously she could. But I honestly think she 100% hates her black skin, and she will do whatever, she will say whatever, she will coon to whatever, she will do anything to further herself from her own black self. I am 100% convinced of that after watching this video. She knows what Juneteenth is. She knows the history. She knows the meaning behind it. But once again, she decides to take the one thing that black folks kind of achieved with, making this a national holiday, and tries, because she ain't fooling me. She tries to flip it as if this is just some made up ignorant thing that black folks just can't help themselves from doing. Like all black folks are just, overly aggressive, ignorant, stupid, and just are animals at the end of the day. And watching her as a black woman say this and pretend as if this is reality confuses me. So without further ado, let's go ahead, watch this video, and let's have that conversation.
So yesterday you may have noticed that the podcast was missing. We did not drop a new episode, and maybe some of you guys ran to the conclusion that it's because I'm black and it was Juneteenth and I was out celebrating. But no, actually, I was very sick yesterday, extremely sick yesterday. So I had to actually take a day off. There were no celebrations at my house, nor would there ever be celebrations at my house for Juneteenth. But in my delirium, as
whoa. Why does she have to assume that black people are taking a day off of Juneteenth because they're black? Maybe they kind of want to do it for historical reasons, just like July 4th. Countless of people take that day off just to kick it, just to barbecue. Do you think they're really sitting down and reading the history of the 4th of July and saying the Pledge of Allegiance and, holding their heart and saluting the flag? Do you really think Americans do that on any holiday? Cinco de Mayo. You ain't got to have an ounce of Mexicano in your body, but still you going to take that day off and you going to go out there and party. Who is she talking to? I forget. A bunch of clowns, a bunch of idiots. That's who those are the only people that's going to believe that.
I was laying in my bed. I did send out a tweet and I wrote right to the point that the Juneteenth holiday is still ghetto and it's made up. Then I put my phone away. I was coughing up a lung. I was in bed and I came back and I was trending everywhere. And Black America was so mad at me. They were so mad at me. They said that I could not come to the cookout again, that I was not invited. In fact, a lot of people said that Candace is saying this because she hates black people. Well, right off of the top, I want to apologize for sending that pithy tweet. Had I had known that it would go so viral, I would have put much more effort into it. Unfortunately, what I'm sorry for is the fact that Twitter is so limited in characters. We should be able to say more on Twitter. And I feel like today I can finally say everything that I want to say about why this holiday is ghetto and, in fact, made up. But the feedback right off the bat, this is why you know that black people have become increasingly emotional and irrational, accusing me of being racist, accusing me of hating my own skin color because I don't want to celebrate Juneteenth. This is what always happens. If you criticize a black person, the number one thing that they say is that you're doing it because they're black. This is what happens after years of sustained BLM messaging.
So first off, I can only speak for myself. I'm not saying you hate yourself because you criticize Juneteenth. You don't want to celebrate Juneteenth. What kind of ignorant stuff is that? You hate yourself because you don't like black folks. You only see what white supremacy thinking wants you to see about black people, and you want to try to distance yourself from that as far as possible. You can't learn to love your culture, yourself, for the good, the bad, and the ugly, and everything in between it. Every culture has it. Every group of people has the good and the bad and the ugly. And sometimes you just gotta be like, hey, I'm black, okay? I'm black, and this is the life and the time that I'm living in, and I have to try to make the best of it. Black folks are not in the best position right now, but I'm going to use my platform. I'm going to use my voice to try to uplift black people, to build upon black people, to do what I can. So when I leave this earth, black people, the black community is in a better position when I came in. But no, Candace Owens can't do that. Ooh, she can't do it because she is brainwashed by white supremacy rhetoric, and she believes it. And she would be the one back in the slavery times to snitch on other black folks trying to escape slavery. We all know she will be that one sitting on a porch with Master, saying, look at that Negro there, Master. Can I chase him down this time? She'd be the one.
BLM has actually rotted Black American brains. I'm serious. It's a virus in their brains. They can't even think rationally. They don't even think, oh, why would a black person want to report racistly on another black person? It defies common sense. They don't have common sense. Just to address their
Did
first
she say they don't
point,
have common
that
sense?
defies common sense. They don't have common sense. Just to address their first point, I have spent the better half of last month talking about basically every topic surrounding the perversion that has become so inherent in Pride Month. Okay. So much so that my YouTube account was actually banned for it last week. And yes, of course, the majority of people that are leading the Pride March are in fact white. Last week, as another example, I looked over the people that we covered: Megan Fox, Lance Bass, Conor McGregor, Madonna's daughter, Anthony Bass, baseball player, The Chosen series, and the Pride flag debacle. The Duggar family questioning whether or not it was moral for them to speak out against their family. Quentin Tarantino. I actually had to search and dig deep to see where are the black people that I've covered on this show. And it turns out that I covered 3 black people. Mm-hmm. Jamie Foxx, and this is, by the way, over the last 3 weeks. Jamie Foxx was one of them. And I did not cover him in a derogatory manner. We just discussed the news piece that people are alleging that he had a stroke because he got the COVID vaccine.
Okay, got you. I
then criticized 2 black people, the first being Lizzo, because I find it perverse that she celebrates being fat all the time. And it is bad messaging when fat is in fact the #1 killer in America right now. And Mizzy, the black TikToker that went viral in the UK for quite literally breaking into people's homes and recording their reactions. Okay. He has since come out and apologized for his behavior. But what was interesting about those 2 black people that I covered is that in both instances, I was accused of being a racist. Lizzo, her fans have said, you're only saying something about her weight because she's fat and black.
Okay. You talk way too much and say nothing, bro. Okay, check this out. I would like to say, on behalf of the people, for the black folks, calling you racist is not because you're calling Lizzo fat. It's not because you're saying the young, I think he was British, black kid that was breaking into people's houses. They're not calling you racist because you're covering that story. We call you racist. We say that you hate your own skin because you have the audacity to sit here and pretend as racism never happened. Check this out. Racism never happened and doesn't happen today. It's all made up. This is all one big, misunderstanding. Slavery was just a few, 1 or 2 rich white folks back in the day. It just lasted 2-3 years. It wasn't too many black slaves. It was just a few 100,000. And that's it. Jim Crow was nothing. Redlining was nothing. Lynching, lynched like what, 1 or 2 people? None of that. Segregation, none of that didn't do much, didn't mean much. Why racism? Racism doesn't mean a thing. Candace, you hate yourself. You can't even admit that America actually did what America did. And we covered it so many times. Just look through my videos. Candace Owens had the audacity to, once upon a time, sue her school for racial discrimination. But then all of a sudden, she's a right winger. She's a conservative commentator. Racism doesn't exist. Oh man, no one's calling you racist because you say Lizzo's fat. That doesn't even make sense. And if they are, then they have every reason to call you racist because you have a track record of saying ignorant white supremacist talking points. You are known for saying that. You're not fooling nobody except for your dumb audience. That's the only people you're fooling.
He was just fat in another color, you wouldn't be covering this. So then I had to produce content to show them that, no, I cover fat people of all different races. Of course, we've covered fat people that are Hispanic on the show. We've covered that fat man that is literally eating himself to death on YouTube multiple times on the show. But when a black person's got to be because of the color of their skin. And then Mizzy, of course, notoriously went on Piers Morgan. And when Piers Morgan asked him factual questions about the dangerous pranks, quote unquote pranks, that he was committing on other people who had children in the home at the time, walking into somebody's home when they have a small child, Mizzy instantly said, oh, why? Because I'm a black guy? And Piers Morgan rightfully said, no, it's because you are an idiot, right? So when I cover black people on the show, I'm typically covering them because they are doing something that is idiotic, not because of the color of their skin. But again, that BLM rot, it takes a while for it to recede. And there were other people that took issue with the fact that I used the term ghetto. Oh, no. You can't say ghetto and a black issue, a black person, or a black holiday in the sentence unless you are being racist. And this is what they tend to do, right? So they basically say you can't use words like perversity and pedophilia when talking about gay people or lesbians because of the history of the word. And it's somehow homophobic to do that. Even when you have a clear case of a gay person that is doing something perverse or pedophilic, they try to ban the words that actually make sense in the context that you were talking about by saying.
But that is the thing, Candace Owens, you know for a fact, you can use the word ghetto in the sense to where it is derogatory, where it is shedding a negative context on whatever situation you're talking about, which she's about to get into on why she feels Juneteenth is ghetto. She's about to get into it, and her example is stupid on its own. So it's weird how she's trying so hard to like create this into an actual argument, and it's not. So I don't understand where she's trying to like, oh, people are trying to ban the word ghetto. Like, we know the context that you're trying to paint black people in. We know the context you're trying to use. And it's the same context white supremacists would use. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not saying like, oh man, this video game is ghetto. Like, you know, that's a different term. That's a different meaning behind it. By saying, oh, black people celebrating Juneteenth is ghetto. Like, we know what you mean behind that. But let's go ahead and listen to what she has to say.
That the word itself is problematic. I used the vocabulary words that were at my dispense, right? I was talking about ghetto as an adjective. They knew what I was referring to, the colloquial term of ghetto behavior, because that's what I meant. When people take this day off, when they are celebrating, for whatever reason, they think celebrating black freedom, it somehow means that they're allowed to get ghetto. So let's address that. Let's just take a look around the United States and see how they celebrate it. Here's the first example that we have of how some black American young children, it looks to be like they're in their teens, tweens, celebrated at a McDonald's. Take a listen.
So you can find this video somewhere else. I'm not 100% sure if I show this on mine, I will get in trouble by YouTube. I showed a small little bickering one time and they red flagged the hell out of that video. So it's just gonna be black kids kind of fighting, throwing stuff, really acting stupid. Like, I think all these kids need a hey, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not gonna show that because I ain't trying to get my YouTube messed up here because it's already. But let's take a look.
As thousands were heading home from the Juneteenth festival, chaos broke out in the street.
So more fighting. Of course, she wants to point that out. You know, black people, all they know how to do is fight, of course.
Will take a couple of days, of course, but CBS is reporting that there has been a spike in Juneteenth weekend. Mass shootings in communities took place across the U.S., killing at least 12 people since Friday and injuring more than 100 people. So, yeah, how is that for a celebration? I want to be very clear when I watch these.
So you don't think incidents like this happen on July 4th? Thanksgiving, Black Friday, Memorial's Day, Valentine's, I don't know, all these pagan holidays. Like, you don't think people act reckless, start drinking, start getting a little sensitive? Oh, but no. It's only black folks that can act like this on a holiday, right? Got you. Got you. And you wonder why people call you racist. Come on now.
These videos, when I see these kids looting and these children twerking on top of whatever that was, a Pizza Hut, I feel bad for these young adults because crime as a celebration, this ghetto culture that we're seeing, it's not exactly Black America's fault if you think about it. I feel bad for them because over the last 4 years or so, the media and the corporations in lockstep, just like McDonald's, signaled to these individuals that their deviant behavior was justified. We saw this all across America.
Oh man, what the hell is she? Who said that looting and acting like this is okay? You know, that's I am trying my hardest, okay guys? I need you to listen, okay? I am trying my hardest to be a civilized person when talking about these matters. I don't like calling people names. I don't like telling people I wish they would like drive off a cliff and hold their breath on the way down. I don't like saying things like that. But hearing the ignorance come out of their lips just infuriates me. So what I want to do is show some videos on black people doing positive things on Juneteenth. So just in case if you're one of those Candace fans and you're like, hey, there was no civilized black people on Juneteenth. They were all just going crazy like animals at a zoo. I want to show you that when you can take anything out of context, maybe I'll do that on July 4th, show all the crazy white people going crazy, all the fights that I can find, and just be like, we shouldn't be celebrating July 4th because look at all these crazy white folks just going crazy. That would be ignorant of me because it's easy to cherry pick something and present a story. But what I'm going to show you is that didn't happen everywhere in America. Actually, here in Colorado, in Denver, where I live, Music Soul Child came through singing. There was no fights. There was no shooting. I got a couple homies that went there. They loved it. They were conversing with people, meeting new people, trying new foods, buying black merch, spending their money on black companies. Like, what? I didn't see this. So what's going on, Candace? So let's go ahead, watch a few clips, and I get right back to you.
One of the nation's largest parades held in Philadelphia. Marches bringing people together in Denver.
It makes you see that It's not just you. You're not alone.
And in Washington, D.C., festivals lined the streets.
This holiday is about celebrating freedom from slavery. As hard as that is to even say, that's the reality.
It begins with a march and parade through Prospect Park and ends with a concert at the Nethermead area. Saturday featured a day full of family fun at Linden Park, where attendees enjoyed a day of music, dance, poetry, and local vendors. This year's theme is Kaleidoscope of Black Culture and seeks to educate the Black community on its history while also changing the narrative of the devastating impact of slavery. It also serves to remind others that even though there has been much progress, Black communities continue to face issues.
Juneteenth is really about learning the deep down culture, supporting Black businesses, and encouraging each other to grow within this space.
For years, he's made barbecue in the Portland area. For Strouder, Juneteenth is a time to celebrate.
This is the time to have fun. Don't worry about what's happening in the past or what's going on.
Others commemorated the holiday in other ways. Laye Quay organized the Juneteenth Black Liberation Bike Ride Saturday morning.
It's a complicated holiday.
It's the 8th year of an event meant to bring Black Portlanders together.
I think we're choosing to, do a fun and joyous thing.
Fellow bike riders say the ride brings the community together for a fun activity.
Yeah, it's a celebration. It's heartwarming. I love to see my people together.
With crowds flooding into Lillis Albina Park, all are commemorating the holiday exactly as they see fit. In Portland, Thomas Schultz, KGW News.
So watching those clips, where did you see Black folks acting ignorant? That's what I'm saying. It's common sense. Any holiday, I mean, it doesn't even have to be a holiday. It could be the week before the holiday. It's going to be ignorant people of all color, drinking, enjoying their time, acting ignorant. It's going to be some things popping off. From Christmas to Cinco de Mayo, it doesn't matter. So why would Candace try to make a scene because, Black people created this fake holiday, and then they just act like animals, brainless, uncontrollable animals? Why would she fix her lips, her Black lips, to say something like that about Black folks? I will tell you a secret. Because she hates herself. That simple. Sometimes it's not complicated. Sometimes you don't need to dig as deep as you can and take, talk to a therapist and try to invest. Sometimes it's just right in front of you. She just hates herself. And that is something no other person in the world could fix but herself. But once again, if you think I'm wrong, if you think Candace Owens loves herself and she just thinks Black people are just, creatures who can't control themselves and just pure emotion, let me know in the comments. Let's have that interesting conversation. And I will see you guys in the next video.